Comrade Allen, I want to thank all the comrades who participated through the weekend, those who stuck through to this point. I too agree that I think open discussion amongst socialists amongst anti-capitalists is very important. It is crucial to know who you're working with and to understand the intricacies of the struggles that we all bring. I think that we are in a process that will lead towards a real labor union that's based in the unions and in oppressed communities. I do not think we can skip it. I think there's much work to be done. There's work to be done. There are no assumptions that we should bring into this process that we think are untouchable. I think we really have to use history as a guide. Before I go further, I want to just state that I received a letter from a comrade who is locked down. He's a prisoner of consciousness who heard about this conference, and he's close to us in Ujima. He asked that I read this, but because of time, I'm going to ask that we transcribe this to go with the discussion so that it is not lost. I really appreciate that the brother took his time and resources to write this conference. I also want to read a very brief statement written by Karl Marx. Whilst the cotton industry introduced child slavery in England, it gave in the United States a stimulus to the transformation of the earlier, more or less patriarchal slavery into a system of commercial exploitation. In fact, the veiled slavery of the wage earner in Europe and in America needed for its pedestal slavery, pure and simple, in the New World. We will not fix the contradictions of slavery by building socialism over the pedestal of slavery, genocide, and colonialism. Not only will you not do it, we won't allow you to do it. You will not be able to use the oppressed nations and have partnership with conscious African workers in a process that delegitimizes what history has done to us to take our humanity. It is not a question that we're asking anybody to help us. We will be free and self-determined on our own terms. We know that there must be unity of all workers against imperialism and against capitalism, but it won't come off our back. It won't come off of our blood and sweat. Ask those who've been able to benefit from being a wage worker under slavery, under colonialism. Ask them to make the contradictions, to make the sacrifices first. We've done enough sacrifices. We're going to have honest conversations, regardless of our national origin, our gender, our sexual orientation. All of us come into this discussion understanding that imperialism is the enemy, that the capitalist ruling class is the enemy. But it has also created divisions that need to be worked out. We got lots of work to do, comrades. There's not going to be a Labor Party that exists with African people who are tied to African suffering, who are going to give up the right of self-determination. We have seen forces who now are from the Black community who join organizations like the DSA. And I'm not debating the DSA's politics. I'm talking about the type of Black people that join the DSA. Ain't the people that you find in the hood. These ain't the same people you find doing the day-to-day work and struggle that makes it possible that mothers can feed their children, that people can get educated, that people get health care one way or another, that people find housing. These ain't those people. They can join whatever organizations and do whatever they want. But if you want to bring African people conscious of their working class and national interests, you're going to have a discussion about our right to be self-determined and self-organized. We come to this process honestly saying that we're anti-imperialists, that we're anti-capitalists, we're anti-colonialists, anti-racist, anti-sexist. We are pro-liberation. We believe in radical unions. But we're not going to compromise Black power. Black power is not on the table for discussion. Either we'll have it in this alliance or we'll have it out of the alliance. But we will have Black power. It is an important discussion. And we think it's important that we spread the discussion. I'm not asking you to necessarily give up your politic to be able to accept that position. But if you want this alliance, then you have to make you have to make some considerations to how you want to move forward. It's not an easy process. I don't expect this one discussion to persuade anybody that that's the right thing to do. But I'm telling you, it's going to come up, and we're going to continue to have it. And when we get tired of having the damn conversation, you're going to talk to yourself. You're not going to have black and brown people to have a discussion where we're going to be dictated to. We've told you what the condition is for the relationship. We fought this long without your support, and we'll continue to fight this long without your support. That's important. I want to also say the struggle to get on the ballot is not the most important question that we have. The most important question that all of us should be worried about is how do we build working class power? If the electoral process could have done it, it would have done it a long time ago. If anybody on this discussion believes that electoral politics is going to free us from imperialism and capitalism, I believe you're in the wrong discussion. It is a tactic that we will use as long as it's necessary. But this is a community coming out of the African community. When we didn't have the right to vote, we still fought. When we couldn't join your racist ass Democrat or Republican parties, we still fought. We built our own independent organizations. We took up our own self-defense. We took up our own institutions of mutual aid to feed ourselves and to bury our children and our parents in the goddamn ground that you stole us to. It's not acceptable that we be asked to make another sacrifice as a nation of people. Yes, class unity is important, but not off our backs, not off the backs of our children. It is serious because when we have these struggles today around police brutality, it is not a general workers question. It is a question of how the African community is being treated. It's a question of how the indigenous community is being treated. We die and disappear. We don't even end up on damn milk cartons. We're just supposed to be dead because that's how America builds itself, off the bones and blood of African and indigenous people. You want to tell me about a worker struggle? Fuck a worker struggle. African people had full employment under slavery. Full employment don't solve our contradiction. Freedom and self-determination does. Maybe it will go your way. Maybe we will be your ally. Maybe we won't, but it's our decision. It is our choice. We helped build this conference because we made the conscious choice to ally and look for people of like minds who know that we got to be together to free it, to free ourselves. But if that is not good enough for you, then it won't be good enough. We ask you, we tell you that we're building a party in this state of Maryland. The truth is it's open to anybody. Some people can't even imagine the fact that a Black Workers' Party could lead white people. You just make the assumption that a Black party is exclusively Black. That is the racism that you have to deal with. We will go build a workers' movement led by Black workers in this state and wherever else we exist. We will have self-determination, and we will only have allies that respect our right to be free and self-determining, led by the African working class.
No, please wrap up.